We are in my garage and I'm wearing a lady's coat, which can only mean one thing: shoe cleaning time. Hi, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. I'm a UK eBay reseller. I buy second-hand items at car boot sales and charity shops, and I resell them online for a profit. One of my main items that I sell in the store, other than clothing, is shoes. What I like about selling shoes is they are cheap to buy. If you pick the right brands, you can make a lot of profit. You can't break them in the post, and they're small for storage. So there's a lot to like about shoes. Things that are not so nice is you do have to clean them, and sometimes you can get shoes that are in a bit of a state which do need a bit of tarting up to get your best sale price. Now, I do know a lot of people out there are trying to learn about the shoe cleaning. I've done some in-depth shoe cleaning videos, but I just wanted to put together just a quick and dirty version, so it just shows you how to very quickly get a pair that are dusty and dirty and make them look good. Depending on the type of shoe, I would take more care over certain shoes and spend longer. But with these, it should just be a quick removal of the surface dirt and then a quick polish, and that shouldn't take too long, and it will make your shoes more saleable and you will achieve a higher price. So I'll quickly show you some of the bits and bobs that I will use, and then we'll just get on with cleaning these bad boys up. So these are a pair of DMs, Dr. Martens, but these are ex-London Underground ones, so should be a decent price in these, because these are original made in England ones, but they're not the typical Dr. Martens style. So but once they're tarted up, these should look a hell of a lot better than they currently do. Alright, let's get cracking. So I'm just going to take you through some of the equipment I've got. You don't need to go as heavy as this. I sell a lot of shoes, so I've spent a lot of time building up the equipment that I need. You do not need as much as this, but this is an old beauty case I picked up at a car boot sale for £8. It's a full suitcase, but I've only got 2 levels here. So basically, within there, I've got shoe creams, shoe polishers, other bits and pieces, more polishers, Daubing brushes, etc. So I've got all that in the top shelf, top rack even. And then under this, I've got saddle soap. I'm not going to use it in this case for cleaning these shoes, but that is fantastic for cleaning up the leather, removing all the surface grime, and then nourishing the leather. Again, a saddle soap brush, that's a Daubing brush. I've got, again, pick these up at car boot sales for putting tan on and off. So different brushes for different polishes. Brown, black, and that helps me not cross-contaminate lots of different shoes with different colours. So you don't need as much as this. You can literally start off with a brush to put it on, a brush to take it off, or just have even just a brown brush and a black brush, brown polish, black polish, and then you can use an old toothbrush and even nail brushes for cleaning off dirt. So what I'll do, I'll get started and you can see how we get on. Hopefully I won't need the saddle soap, we should be able to get away without it, but that is something that I do use a lot of, so well worth having if you are going to sell a lot of shoes. I'll put links into the relevant sundries and bits and pieces in the description, and then you can buy it through Amazon. If you get anything through Amazon through my links, I get a kickback of something like 3 or 5%. So yeah, that's one way of supporting the channel. If you do need to get any sundries for your shoe cleaning, just have a look through the description, and if you buy it through Amazon, I get a couple of % back. So yeah, all good. Right, I'll show you the next steps. So let's just show you what I've got to use today. So I clean a lot of shoes, which means that I can end up getting pretty filthy, so I tend to wear a pair of gloves. You don't need to if you're only doing it from time to time, but I prefer to. Obviously we've got the shoes. Again, a lot of these sundries are bought from car boot sales, so you can pick up brushes for less than £1 each. have a dry brush for getting dirt off, surface dirt. Then depending on whether I need to give it a deep clean, we'll use saddle soap. Hopefully not, but hopefully we'll get the majority of the dirt off with a dry brush. Then, once that's done, we're going to use an old toothbrush and some shoe cream. You don't need to use this step. It depends on how nourished the leather is. If it's looking dry, you definitely want it. If you've got a lot of scuffs, you want it. Difference between shoe cream and shoe polish. Shoe cream, as you can see, it's sort of like a peanut butter type consistency, and that's really high in pigment, which will recolor the shoe to fill in any scuffs. And then the polish, depending on the type, I might use Kiwi for something standard, and if I'm doing higher end shoes, I'll use something like what's that brand? Saphir. Saphir is a fantastic brand, and again, it's got more nutrients in it. So for higher end shoes, I'll use a higher quality polish. Bog standard polish does a job for a standard pair of shoes. What the polish does, again, that fills in the imperfections, and when you polish it off, it leaves a sheen and a shine and protects your shoes. So you can skip that step, but it depends on the state of the shoes. So I'll get started, and I'll leave one unpolished and one polished so you can see the difference before and after. But this is the sort of state we're looking at. So we've got a couple of scuffs in the front, pretty dirty. This may not come off with a dry brush, so I may need to get out the saddle soap. Well, let's have a look. As I said, it's dirty work. I don't particularly like cleaning shoes in the house because it can be quite dirty work. So I've got a workbench out in my garage, and I'll usually put up a protective sheet. You can get an old shower curtain, something like that, and it just stops everything getting covered in muck. Depends what you've got. You might want to do it out in the garden if it's nice and sunny. So I've got my gloves on. First thing we want to do, get the laces out. Oh, the whole comment earlier about wearing a lady's coat, it's because I've got this coat I've got is my shoe cleaning coat, because basically I'm using it like an apron to make sure I don't get all the dirt and crud up me. So these, pair of Dr. Martin original, made in England. There is some wear to the heel, but not horrific. They're generally in pretty good condition. I paid £2 for these. There you can see they're for London Underground. So should, I think, once these are cleaned up and looking good, somewhere in the region of 50 odd quid. So 2 to 50 with relatively little effort, we should be okay. So that's standard. Get a dry brush, and you just want to get all the surface dirt off. So it is literally just getting stuck in with the brush. I'm going to see what we can do to get as much surface dirt off as possible. Now, if shoes have been fairly well looked after, this should be fairly quick and easy, but there is some ingrained dirt in these, so I think we are going to need to use the saddle soap. Okay, so I've cleaned some of the dirt off, but as you can see, I can't get it all off. It is pretty dirty in there, so I will need to get some saddle soap. Saddle soap, it's a 500 gram tub. You can get it in 100 grams or 200 or 250 gram tubs. There's like a pound difference to go from 100 to 250, and then another pound up to go to the 500. So it's really expensive if you buy a little bit. If you're buying a big tub, it's relatively cost effective. I think it's about 6 or 7 quid including delivery from Amazon. I've got just a Daubing brush which I will use to clean up. So that's what it looks like, and it's got lots of clip bits. I think it's got a lot of quite natural things in there, but it's glycerin based soap essentially, and you can build up a lather, and it strips off all the old polish layers and dirt, but without making your shoe ruined with if you tried it just with water. So got my saddle soap. This is just water from the tap. because I don't have a tap out in the garage. Just going to pop some in there. I've got a little puddle of it, and then I'm going to build up some suds. A bit more water. As long as you can get it up onto the brush like that, we're good. Stick my hand in the shoe and basically massage it in. We'll do all the shoe like this, right inside the laces, flaps, all the way around the welt. Give it a good once over. These look like they've never been polished, so it won't be stripping off lots of polish, but all that ingrained dirt should come off quite nicely. As well as cleaning, it's adding, the glycerin helps add nutrients back into the shoe. Okay, the shoe pretty soapy now, and then you want to clean that off with something that you don't mind ruining. So my son, he's outgrown these old school shorts. I mean, a towel's nice, but basically mop it off with whatever you've got to hand. Old school shirts, like his old this sort of school shirt, they're probably the best. They're a little bit more absorbent than the old school trousers. Straight away these are looking a lot better. Now, as you can see, there's still a lot of foam in at the edges, and we need to get that off. I've got another brush, and this is a saddle soap brush for getting it out of all the nooks and crannies. You don't really want it drying in the eye holes or anything like that. This brush just gets the saddle soap out of those little nooks and crannies that your cloth won't. As I said, these brushes are not expensive. They are if you go and buy them brand new, but if you're watching this, the odds are you're probably going to a lot of car boot sales. Keep an eye out for old shoe brushes. You can pick them up. Sometimes you can pick up 4 or 5 for £1 or £2. And this should have stripped off all the dirt, and we can actually see what we're working with if we've got any problems with the shoe. So that's taken not long. So now, straight away, these are looking way, way better. Some people might just stop at that. They really would. Put a great big dirty wet mark on it, but otherwise these are looking pretty good. Now, there's a bit of a mark up there, but I can fill that in with the shoe cream. Right. It's not paint, that is where the top has been scraped off, and that is just the brown leather underneath, the natural colour of the leather. So we can fill that in using the shoe cream. You wouldn't be able to do it, cover it with shoe polish, shoe cream will. So just straight away, compare and contrast. That's before and after, just using saddle soap, which is a huge difference. And that took a couple of minutes. So, next thing we want to do is put in some colour back. So we'll use this shoe cream. This is by Collonil. Collonil do some good leather bits and pieces. So there you go. And it is, you can see it's very soft consistency. Ideally you'd use a Daubing brush, so brush like that, but I have a lot of toothbrushes, so basically I'm going to give it a once over with this shoe cream. I've also got leather paints as well. We're not going to go crazy. I didn't cover this in shoe cream. A little goes a long way. And as these shoes are in pretty good condition and they've got a good shiny finish anyway, we won't need thick layers of it, just need a bit. Basically I'm just going to give it a quick once over, get all surfaces covered. So depending on what you're doing, I tend to clean shoes in batches. So I would get a load of them, clean them, then I get a load of them that are cleaned and put the shoe cream on, set them to the side, and once I've got to the last pair, so I might be doing 5, 6, 7 at a time, I'd then go back to the first pair and it would have given time for the shoe cream to soak in and nourish the leather. But I'm just doing a quick and dirty one shoe just to show you the example, so I'm not going to let it sit, but typically it'll probably be sitting for 10-15 minutes, allowing the pigment and the moistures and the nourishment to go into the leather. So what we now need, use the black brush, and it is just going to be taking off the shoe cream that we've just put onto it. And it is literally, hold it, put your hand in the shoe, and I'm just going to do long strokes backwards and forwards, and that will add a nice sheen. Just want to make sure you get all surfaces. You want to use the full length of the brush. When you're buying shoe brushes in kits, sometimes they're only really small ones. A long brush gives you more area for the stroke, which just makes your life easier. So use the full length of the brush and try and get the biggest brushes you can. It does make life easier. There are links to new ones if you're getting them on Amazon, but I'm sure you'll be able to pick this sort of thing up at car boot sales for, you know, you can get a decent few for £1 or so. So again, a couple of strokes for that. Again, compare and contrast. So straight away we've gone from filth to cleaner. Now we've added the shoe cream. You can see there's a nice sheen already on these, and then we're going to go for a final polish. Just going to use bog standard Kiwi. The other brand I mentioned is Saphir. I use this for my high-end shoes. Again, there's more pigment in it, and it's a softer, waxier polish, and it makes the shoes look better, genuinely. But I wouldn't use it on any old pair of shoes. So for your standard shoes, I don't want to waste a £6 tin when I can get away with the £2.50 tin. But if I'm selling a pair of shoes that are £200, I'll use the good stuff, and I can put it in my description, cleaned with polished with Saphir. So Again, you can dip the end of your brush in, daub it all over the shoe, but I tend to prefer to use an old toothbrush. So again, I'm not going crazy, I'm not looking for loads of it, I'm just loading a little onto the brush, and we're just gonna give it a nice even coat. Not even looking to go crazy on it, just around the back and the sides, don't need a lot. The main bit that people see is this toe cap area. So everywhere gets a very, very quick once over. So that's it, the whole shoe's now got a very quick once over. Don't forget to do the tongue. And again, if you've got the time and you're doing a lot of shoes, let them sit for a while. I'm just doing this quickly, so I'm not going to bother. Always make sure, put the lid back on, otherwise I don't know if it's turpentine and other bits and pieces, things evaporate off and it will shrink. So, and it will go hard, so you want to always make sure your top's on properly. And then, again, you can see now there's a dullness where I've added the polish. So we're going to do exactly the same, long strokes with the brush. And excuse me, that's my background falling down. The bang on the floor was my shoe cleaning tray, which is if I'm using water, etc. for dirty trainers. So again, using the black brush, nice long strokes. Getting inside the tongue. And then even my old socks come in handy. Get an old sock. It's quite nice to be able to get the sock and rub it over the top of the shoe, but you can only do it if you've got someone sitting there foot in it, or you've got a shine boy, which I'll show you afterwards, which is the way you hold shoes, and you can use that to when you're cleaning, so you've got both hands. It's a lot better, but I only bought one because I do a lot of shoe cleaning. But what you can do, get an old sock. So any old socks in this house and toothbrushes, come into this garage, get the sock over your hand, just give that the toe cap, final polish. You can see it's still polish coming off. Okay, so that's a couple of minutes. And we've gone from this £2 shoe to this, which I think I can get somewhere around £50 for. You can see that nice shine on the toe now. Quite a difference for a couple of minutes work. Yes, I could have stopped with just cleaning it up with the saddle soap, but I think you can agree a couple of minutes work makes all the difference. And There's a couple in America who are full-time shoe resellers, but they stick with trainers. I think they're called Rinsey, and they call it sweat equity. So you're putting in the elbow grease and the effort, and that increases your value. So I quite like that sweat equity. But I'll do the same with this in a little bit to clean it up. But I think you can agree that is definitely worth a couple of minutes work. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you the Shine Boy, so you can see the other way I clean shoes. But that's it in the basics. So if you do need any supplies, all the items that I use are going to be in the description and links to Amazon. If you do buy anything through those links, I get something like somewhere between 3 and 5% as a kickback from Amazon. But otherwise, stuff like the brushes, they're usually readily available at car boot sales. So I'll quickly show you the Shine Boy, and then I've also got a polishing machine as well. So depending on how many shoes I'm doing, there's a couple of different ways for me. Right, I'll get those out and show you. Right, it's raining now, so you can hear the rain. But Shine Boy is this thing. Bought this from America. I think it cost me about 25 quid plus delivery. But basically, shoe goes onto it, and then this section pulls the shoe back, and it means that I can clean with both hands if I need to. But also, excuse me, it means that I can finish a shoe like this. And this is basically it's the friction you're trying to build up. The faster you can move the stock or cloth or whatever you've got, it starts to melt the wax into the shoe, and you can get a fantastic shine. So a couple of strokes of that, old sock. Looking pretty good there. So that I got from America, and that's called a Shine Boy. They're also known as a shoe butler. There is another way, which I'm going to show you now, which no one else needs to do, but because I sell a lot of shoes, it was worth the investment for me. So I'll show you my last bit of equipment, and I think that'll be it. Right, now I picked this up on eBay. This is like an old hotel shoe polishing machine. As you put the shoe in, it sets off this little sensor, and you get the spinning brushes. So it's not as good as the proper one you get in a cobbler, but because I do a lot of shoes, it saves me a lot of time. I think I won this on auction for about 25-30 quid plus a tenner delivery. So for me it was worth it because I clean a lot of shoes. If you're only doing a couple of pairs here and there, you don't need this, but it is great. So you basically get your shoe, as you push it in, there's a little sensor and it will notice that the shoe's there. And basically takes all the hard work out of the polishing for me. Again, before and after. There's quite a difference. So hopefully that has been useful. It's given you an idea of some of the bits and pieces that I use. In the end, I think we can all say that that was definitely worth having, saddle soap. But the very, very basics are, you're going to want a handful of brushes. Never mix your black in your brown brushes. Have a black brush, have a brown brush. At some point you may need to get a tan brush. I have a brush for getting dry dirt off. Other than that, you can get away with a handful of old toothbrushes. And then your basics, you're going to need some black polish, some brown polish. You might need some neutral. I tend to think that it's sensible to invest in some shoe creams. If you're getting shoes that are scuffed, it will make a big difference. So consider getting shoe creams as well, but you don't need to. So your basic minimums, a couple of brushes, some shoe polish, think about getting some saddle soap. But all of this, it's relatively inexpensive. If you spent 20 odd, well, maybe not that, 20 odd quid on the rest of it, and you'll make that back in one pair of shoes. So it's an investment well worth considering. So as I said, hopefully that's been useful. If you need any of the kit, look in the description, you've got the links there. And if you've got any questions or tips or anything, pop them in the comments. So thanks again. My name is Lee, and you've been watching me on Cola Flipper. Take care. See you next time.